Hello, I'm Gibbon, and you're tuning in to Let's Discover the World Together. Today, we delve into the life of Adolf Hitler, tracing his journey from obscurity to infamy. Adolf Hitler was born in the small Austrian town of Braunau am Inn in 1889. From an early age, he harbored grand aspirations, initially nurturing a keen interest in becoming an artist. However, his dreams met stark realities. His applications to the Academy of Fine Arts Vienna were rejected not once but twice, citing his unimpressive talent. Disheartened but undeterred, Hitler relocated to Germany, where the tides of his life took a pivotal turn. The outbreak of World War I saw him enlist in the German army, an experience that profoundly shaped his ideology and outlook. His bravery in battle earned him the Iron Cross, first class, a rare honor for a corporal, which significantly bolstered his public image and appeal. From a failed artist to a war hero, Hitler's early life set the stage for his rise to power. With Germany in turmoil after World War I, Hitler found his political calling. In the aftermath of the Great War, Germany was a nation on its knees, burdened by the punitive Treaty of Versailles, which imposed heavy reparations. The economy was in shambles, inflation was skyrocketing, and unemployment was widespread. In this milieu of despair and resentment, a climate ripe for radical ideas and charismatic leaders, Adolf Hitler began his ascent. Initially, Hitler was just another voice in the chaos of Weimar Germany's many political movements. He joined the German Workers' Party in 1919, a small group that promoted German nationalism and anti-Semitism. Hitler's ability to connect with the audience through his impassioned speeches quickly became apparent. His rhetoric, filled with promises of revival and accusations against supposed enemies of the state, resonated with many who were disillusioned by Germany's dire situation. Under Hitler's influence, the German Workers' Party transformed and expanded, soon to be renamed the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party for short. Hitler's profile rose and his ambitions grew. He sought a revolution to overthrow the Weimar Republic. This culminated in the Beer Hall Putsch of November 1923, an attempted coup in Munich by Hitler and his Nazi followers to seize power. The putsch failed disastrously, resulting in a brief but pivotal prison sentence for Hitler. However, rather than diminishing his political career, his imprisonment became a stepping stone. Behind bars, he penned Mein Kampf, a manifesto outlining his ideology and future plans for Germany. This work further expanded his audience and solidified his base, portraying him as a martyr of the nationalist cause. Despite a brief imprisonment, Hitler's resolve only strengthened, setting his sights on a legitimate path to power. By 1933, the stage was set for Hitler to manipulate his way to the top of German politics. In the early 30s, Germany was a nation in turmoil, grappling with the crushing effects of the Great Depression. Unemployment was rampant, and the German people were desperate for a savior. Hitler, with his dynamic oratory skills and promises of revival, appeared to be just that. The pivotal moment came on February 27, 1933, with the Reichstag fire. The Parliament building in Berlin was engulfed in flames, and the Nazis quickly declared it a communist plot. Hitler used this event to stoke fear of political upheaval. Capitalizing on the chaos, he convinced President Hindenburg to pass the Reichstag fire decree. This decree suspended basic rights and allowed detention without trial, effectively stifling opposition. But it was the Enabling Act, passed in March of the same year, that truly cemented Hitler's control. This act allowed Hitler and his cabinet to enact laws without the involvement of the Reichstag, including laws that altered the constitution. With a series of calculated moves, Hitler disbanded political parties and silenced dissent. The once vibrant political landscape of the Weimar Republic was transformed into a one-party state under Nazi control. By merging the offices of the Chancellor and the President after Hindenburg's death in August 1934, Hitler declared himself Führer. This title granted him unprecedented authority, completing his ascent to absolute power. With absolute power secured, Hitler transformed the democratic Weimar Republic into a totalitarian regime. Hitler's grip on Germany was firm, but how did he maintain control and loyalty? The answer lies in the insidious tools of indoctrination and control. Hitler and the Nazi regime expertly wielded propaganda as a powerful instrument to mold German society. The state-controlled media, including newspapers, films, and radio broadcasts, were commandeered to disseminate Nazi ideologies. Every message was carefully crafted to glorify the regime and demonize its enemies, ensuring that the populace viewed Hitler not just as a leader, but almost as a messianic figure. Central to this indoctrination was the Hitler Youth, an organization that targeted the youngest in society. Boys and girls were taught from a very early age to adhere to Nazi ideologies, turning them into fervent future supporters. The curriculum was heavily laced with teachings on racial purity, obedience to the Führer, and the importance of sacrificing oneself for the nation. The Hitler Youth effectively shaped a generation that was fanatically loyal to Hitler. Mass rallies and speeches also played a crucial role. These events were spectacles of Nazi power and Hitler's charisma, designed to evoke emotional responses from the crowd. Through his powerful oratory, Hitler reinforced a sense of unity and national pride, binding the people to his vision. The restructured society saw every individual's identity tied closely to the collective Nazi identity. Through systematic indoctrination, Hitler turned a nation into followers of his destructive ideology. The darkest aspect of Hitler's regime was the establishment of concentration camps. These camps, starting with Dachau in 1933, marked a grim chapter in human history. Dachau initially housed political prisoners, setting a precedent for the numerous camps that followed. As the network of camps expanded, places like Auschwitz became synonymous with terror and death. Initially, the camps targeted political opponents, intellectuals, and anyone deemed a threat to the Nazi ideology. However, the scope quickly widened to include a broader category of undesirables according to Nazi definitions. This included Roma, disabled individuals, homosexuals, and predominantly Jews. The camps soon evolved from places of incarceration to centers for systematic genocide. The mechanics of death were coldly efficient. In Auschwitz alone, the largest and perhaps the most notorious of all, the gas chambers operated relentlessly. Victims were misled into believing they were headed for showers, only to be met with Zyklon B gas. The scale of this operation was monstrous, with millions losing their lives in these death factories. The existence of these camps was initially kept secretive, but the relentless efforts of the Allied forces eventually brought the horrifying truth to light. The liberation of these camps revealed the extent of the horrors committed. Piles of belongings, human remains, and survivors barely clinging to life. These camps stand as a harrowing testament to the brutal reality of Nazi rule. Today, we've explored the chilling journey of Adolf Hitler from a disillusioned youth to a dictator who launched World War II. Let's take a moment to recap the key points that have shaped this narrative. We started with Hitler's early life, his struggles and his eventual entry into politics in post-World War I Germany. His charismatic oratory and propaganda skills were pivotal in his rise to power. By exploiting economic woes and nationalistic fervor, Hitler established himself as the Führer of Nazi Germany. Once in power, Hitler's regime was marked by an extreme form of governance that relied heavily on indoctrination and control. His mastery over the state's mechanisms allowed him to manipulate, persuade, and coerce the populace and his soldiers into blind obedience. The establishment and operation of concentration camps stand as one of the most horrific legacies of his rule, showcasing the brutal extent of his racial ideologies. The impact of Adolf Hitler's actions on world history is profound. His policies and the war he initiated not only reshaped the geopolitical landscape, but also resulted in the loss of millions of lives, making it one of the darkest chapters in human history. It's crucial to remember these events, not just as historical facts, but as poignant lessons on the dangers of totalitarianism and extreme ideologies. Thank you for joining me, Gibbon, on Let's Discover the World Together. Remember, history teaches us invaluable lessons about the past and provides insights for our future. Until next time, keep exploring and learning.